pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
What was the empty room? What was the empty room?
Yeah. Good morning, Tuesday, May 28th, 2024. Board minutes for May 21st, 2024.
Yeah, I'll move to accept the minutes, except one thing where I said that on the road thing that our equipment would be there this week. And it said for the holidays. We probably should strike for the holidays because it's after the holidays.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any public comment? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried and passed. Correspondence. From Seth, Barty, Dear, Blaine, and Billy. We are looking at lighting fixtures that is going to occupy the third floor corridor and all of the second floor restrooms.
There's a picture of them. They want new lighting up there.
Yeah, they just want your,
They want to see if that's okay, if they can put them in, redo this elevator stuff.
they want to make sure you like the fixtures. So I told them I would bring them to you today.
That's a very thick piece of paper. Oh, no, it isn't. Slate architecture, is that who this is from?
Yep.
Okay. I don't know, does this have to be on the agenda?
No, we just said, say go ahead, I mean, it's, as long as it meets,
So that looks kind of historical type. I'll let you see it in a minute. The second email is from Ben Grass, and he's pleased to report that we have received our MDDOT special event permit. And that's the bike thing, right?
Yep.
Yay. Any questions on that?
Did we got the proof of insurance from them?
Yep, we have
Just
everything.
worried about somebody wrecking out there on a bicycle on a county road. Yeah, I don't know.
Okay, our next correspondence is from Darcy Warden with Beaverhead Deer Lodge Working Group. The letter submitted to this is Montana delegation in support of increased law enforcement officer.
Yeah, I don't, that's the first time I ever heard anything about that. I'd like to talk to somebody about it. I mean, why should we sign something for increased law enforcement when, remember,
I didn't understand it. I just,
So is this, do we need to get this on the agenda? Have it explained to us? I don't know. What I got out of it was they're wanting the legislature to increase monies for the law enforcement.
yeah, from Congress. But why? I mean, we already got, we know that Little John's gonna go be the guy, so we have one here. Why do they want more? I mean, I gotta know.
Did you want it on the agenda or get more information on it?
Well, I couldn't
Reach out
agenda,
to-
I just wanna think about it. I don't wanna talk to somebody. too.
So I guess what, Billy, what we maybe want is get a hold of Darcy and, okay, we need you to come and explain this to
Yeah,
us.
explain it, yeah.
Because it's hard to understand. I see where they're going, but why?
You know, and then people will sign off on it. Like all other people, you know,
Okay, now this one, I don't get the entitlements that were borrowed from Mineral County, and they want our entitlements.
Didn't they bring this up once before and they wanted us to partner up with some more?
at the airport.
Yeah, I absolutely don't understand what this is. They're asking for our entitlements that was given to us from Mineral County, and they want to lend them to Powder River. Powder River County.
I don't ever remember getting nothing from
I think to cover that study.
Where's Powder River County? We don't have a Powder River County.
they go price of rock water.
Powder River. Prairie.
I think there is.
They can cover the county.
Yeah, seriously. Prairie. Maybe if I've forgotten.
Outer River County in Montana.
My bad. Where is it?
Way over on the east side.
I don't understand this at all.
I don't know what to say.
Blaine had me send it to the airport board as well, but I don't know. I sent it to Blaine too, I don't think.
What's the airport?
I think there were some credits, they had it, and they said, well, you give it to us, cover that study. And then,
But it wasn't actual.
I don't think it's
one.
actually.
Yeah, it wasn't.
I
It
don't
was
think-
some entitlement or whatever,
I don't think so.
whatever that means.
Let's check on
Yeah, we need this explained to us. So. And then we have from Chris Dahl. And this is actually addressed to the Granite County Tax Appeal Board. So,
And then you guys were CC. We got one for the tax appeals board and one for the commissioner's office. 2 copies. of
so it's CC to the commission.
it. Mhm.
And it's complaining about the increase in our property taxes. And that we could have done more for,
you know, people complain about that, and so you got one guy complaining he's not getting anything for his taxes. And then you got other people saying, well, we want you to make. It's ridiculous. Also, people, I'm getting kind of tired of complaining. If they knew who they were voting for, there's a lot of tax and spend people that go to that legislature, and that's the big reason why the taxes are.
that's it for correspondence. Is there any public comment? Maybe Elena.
Oh, hold on, I can't find my mouse. There it is.
And we will put them other ones on there, Jim, if
Yeah.
you did explain.
Yeah.
Thank you. It's getting to the point you almost expect me to comment, Blanche. As far as the correspondence is concerned, yeah, I think you should put the Beaverhead Deer Lodge Working Group on the agenda. I'm familiar with it. It's been around for years. As a matter of fact, one of a former commissioner introduced me to it, and I'm a member of it. So you really should know who they are and why they're involved with our county. As far as the other one about, oh, that's a long one. That I don't know. The airport, the entitlement. That's another one that you really should get involved with. Again, I've said it before, I'll say it again. We do not have an airport. It's a field. And the only people that are involved with this are the people that have planes or have a special interest in it. And I know for a fact, not many of the people that live in this county have planes. I don't have one, and so I don't use it. And it's not an airport per se. So I think you should get some more information about that because we're spending a lot of money for that. And it's not benefiting the whole county. And that's my comment. Thank you.
Thank you, Elena. And in response, I saw your hand. That's why I said, go ahead, Elena. Your hand was up. But yes, I do expect you to comment. Okay, any more public comment on correspondence? Okay, then we'll go right into our next agenda item, which is public comment on matters within the commissioner's jurisdiction. Is there any public comment? Dave? Get my magnifying glass out. That was not true. That was true.
Wayne sent me an updated version of the coast to coast thing now.
So Scott, are you okay with this little quick thing? The portions,
Little trick thing.
yeah, part A. I think you just added that on there.
Yeah, cause this is something that was brought up and remember I asked, isn't this the going up the Harvey Creek thing? Remember, and it was just threw in, it had nothing to do with when we said, well, why don't you just lay it out there? Why?
That wasn't brought up last week. It was on there though.
This is the first time I've seen
Yeah, it
a
was.
Willow Creek. Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess I didn't pay attention to that, cause that's what nothing we were talking about.
Well, it just said general maintenance, so I don't know.
I mean,
Is there any public comment within the commissioner's jurisdiction? All gonna be here today.
I talked to him earlier and I said, I will see you shortly, and he said, yep.
I just want to. I don't know, another thing, it just says for them, general maintenance, and for ours, it says ditch cleaning, signs.
Do you want ours changed to general maintenance instead of the ditch cleaning?
Good. I mean, 406, the reason why I agreed to that, there's not much ditch cleaning. You know, it's paved.
So,
But there's just a.
Yeah.
General maintenance.
We good? Am I good to send that back? Or will you sign this, Blanche?
that's not saying we're doing that, right?
No, and they're on that piece of road, they're doing general maintenance, whatever that means. So I imagine it's bleeding. Why does it say bleeding?
They're doing what they
hey, Paul,
got, what they can do.
Morning.
We played up to the lower Willow Creek, right?
What's that?
We laid up to the lower Willow Creek. We got something from the Forest Service, so they're gonna do general maintenance on that, from the lower reservoir and Willow Creek up.
To the forest boundary.
Have you, anybody talked to you?
I've never heard a word from anybody since last Tuesday.
Either, I just don't understand that.
We've laid, always played, we've been taking care of it about, where Danny Hopman's turn, 3/4 of a mile above the reservoir.
Okay.
Is where we're usually at,
And,
but we've been out, cleared out in the Harvey Creek cleaning cattle guards, and I mean, that's our deal.
But now,
I can pull the minutes. I remember there was, I don't remember what session it was, but when he had come in to one of the beginning sessions, I think they were trying to do a timber sale in that area, so they were gonna do from somewhere to the national
because they were
forest.
complaining about the road with the big potholes.
And that's about that.
Yeah.
And so I think
that's
they're,
what he was talking about, he
Oh.
threw that in, well, we're gonna go up and do
that.
that, so you should do this.
right, I'm just saying, it just says general maintenance. Then
Okay,
Go ahead.
we're speaking about something that people are not even understand what we're talking about. So Paul, good morning.
Good morning.
You have your weekly report.
We're just, right now we're blading Georgetown Lake. So that'll be done. And I'm never going to Travelers and get the rest of our roads up there. And we're hauling gravel down the middle court. And we are cleaning cattle guards out, got dump work this morning. And we gotta swing around, get the other one cleaned at the, right where you go into the cemetery. Everybody's turning their cows out, and they all want their cow guards cleaned. So that's kind of what's going on.
where are you going out the middle for?
What's that?
Where are you going on the middle for?
We're just going, we started about, at that cattle guard where we left off by Eva's, and it's gonna go down there a mile or so, and then we're gonna go, from there, we're gonna go to, we'll start at the bridge at Ross's Fork, and go to the bottom of the hill. We don't dare put that on that hill, it'll never hold. And then from there, we'll go over on the other side of the Ross's Fork and get some of that stuff gravel there alongside that cut, you know, where we put the new pipes and stuff in. Try to get some of that fixed out. And after that, we'll be heading up for Echo Lake. To get that road done,
How long is that?
about a mile. That's where we're at with that.
So the roads that need the gravel this year,
That's them or some of them.
okay.
So you probably need new belly dump or something.
Well, what do we think about that? I think get one, huh? Anyway, what do you guys think?
Well, I'm thinking if the guys just get one, get that new one, or it's what, 4,000 more or whatever, at least we have a brand new.
So it was like 42 versus 40.
Or 37. Wasn't the other used one 37?
30, yeah.
Oh, was it? I
37
thought it was
or
40.
No, the new one is.
Oh.
But the other one was, the used one was 37. Why wouldn't we go a little bit more, just buy a new one that lasts us the rest of our life?
Yeah, everybody here.
Yeah, they wanted 40 branches, where the 40 came from. On the used ones, they wanted 40, but if we bought a couple of them, we could get it down to 37.5.
I just go with the one new one.
What do you
Yeah.
think?
So it
I
was.
think go ahead.
four.
Huh?
I think go brand.
I think no,
I sent you a bunch of them pictures. I mean, there's just a lot of things. But I also think that, you know, this is the price on that 42.7. That's if we were to buy two of them. So that could go up a couple thousand too. I don't
Well,
know.
we can't buy two.
No, I'm just saying.
So they quoted you 42.7 if you bought two.
Right.
I guess we have.
So, I mean, that's what that is.
So if you bought two, it's 42.7.
Yeah, cause
Each.
they're about 45,000.
So if you bought one is 45.
Might get them down to 43.5.
How much to get them up here?
It's gonna, I would guess, it's gonna be about 4,000 to freight them up here. But I think what we do is, let's don't make the decision today. Let me look around at some other people that are around there, and but I sure think the guy goes brand new for the, even if it's $5,000 more, it's gonna last
Yeah.
ever.
Whatever.
Plus you're getting.
Yeah, but if you got
tires,
two,
right? I mean.
We can almost pay for it with that 88,000, which we should have been 100,000. No problem.
Wound up not being 100 though, huh?
And we should have had 100,000 sitting there. We got 88.
I
If we
think,
bought 242, that's 84.
I don't think we wanna demolish that whole thing in case we need something else. I think we better just go with one brand new.
One thing to point out too, if you're spending over 80, you gotta go out to bid. unless it's a new one on government pricing, Sourcewell pricing. How much is the new one?
42.7
Okay, so it's
a piece.
beyond.
If you bought two.
So, but if you bought two, if it was Sourcewell pricing, you would be
We're not gonna buy two.
okay.
No,
So just say, yeah, if
I'm not-
it's over 80 and not Sourcewell pricing, then it needs to go out to bid. But it
Yeah.
doesn't sound like you're going that way.
So I'll have one new one and one broken down, one partial one, and one other halfway through.
That's where we're at.
Yeah, it goes in there.
So you have one that's perfectly fine, correct? Or do you have two broken down ones?
We have one that's a complete pile of junk, and we have another one that's almost a complete pile of junk.
Well, it's usable,
that's
right?
just where
I'm
we are.
sorry, we can't. This was not in the budget. You talked about it, but it was not delegated to like.
Well, we talked about it. And then-
No, it was not put in the
Well, that
budget. No,
They just
Yeah.
never got.
it would have been written down in the budget that we were gonna get two
Well,
belly
it should have
dumps.
been, 'cause that's what I agreed to. I remember. 'Cause
You
I was
remember
pu- I was
mentioning
pushing-
it.
No, I was pushing for these belly dumps way back when.
You
okay?
mentioned it was not passed to get two belly dumps, absolutely not passed. It's not in the minutes
I
to buy
disagree.
two belly dumps. And it wasn't, it would have been written in the budget.
It could be proposed again to buy one this year, then look at it for next year too, if you have the money.
I think just go with the one. And, I mean, we don't have enough guys to run that many, if we at least have a good one,
Well, we-
and just use the one.
The comment made last week, well, we can keep one for a spare is totally ridiculous.
Who said that?
Good
I think
question.
I did probably. I said, at least.
No, but you were, last week you said one, I think, is what I heard.
Well, also there was a comment, well, we can get two and keep one for a spare.
Oh, I don't think it was Scott.
Well, we'll listen to the recording.
I just have him look into, just see what you can find, and, I mean, if there's just,
I might have been me that said spare. I could-
I'm just thinking, I just
I won't speak up.
look for, see what he can bring by next week, and find what a new one.
Yeah, I'll just
See
get
the
it.
cheapest place, and what good deal we can get. I just agree with one.
Oh, this, can I say what I said last week? I said, getting two right now might be a good idea for, just, cause things keep going sky high. That was my only point.
I think that's when I looked at it, I said, no.
You got shut down.
Remember?
Yeah.
We're still on the money that was appropriated from with the 600,000, and that's what the balance is. There was 206,000 in the balance. Just because the prices might go up, doesn't mean that we can afford to buy two.
Well, I think we're all in agreement there.
Yeah, we're in agreement with one new one.
Well, I'll figure it for next Tuesday,
Sure.
and that'll give us enough time, I should be able to get a hard number on freight.
Okay.
And
One. One.
All right, do your motion.
So here's a question on the one that's totally junk and the other one that's getting close to junk. Can't you take the one that's totally junk and use parts to make the other one work better? Says you.
get a second opinion.
But are you saying the same parts that are
Yeah.
not working or not working on both of them?
Yeah, it's really old, they're so fatigued out, they're just, I don't even think you can sell that, you could get rid of that legally at our auction, because it's not safe to be on the road. I think you gotta take it to Pacific. I don't think you can sell that.
Or in the auction, we could say not not licensed or
Let's just let it sit there for now. Let's just worry about getting this new one.
No, I'm just saying, you know.
Anything else? Good job.
All right, see you later.
BLM was gonna call through, but I don't know if they have. They were and see if we'll go up and blade to Garnett. You couldn't do nothing, but we have,
Yeah, we didn't do that last year because of that same reason. I don't think we should do it this year.
I just know that they have a blade on the other side.
Let them come over the hill.
Exactly.
What-
But it's washed out so bad up there now that you down there too. They need to shut the China breaker.
They were gonna do that last year when they came up. They were gonna shut down China Grade, go through Cave Gulch.
So does there have to be a motion on the belly dump? Because we already make it
I-
last week to look into
I
it.
don't think we need a motion until we get a price. We've already given permission to go look and try to figure it out. Now, he brings something back next week, then we can make.
Oh, it's not
go
a-
ahead with it.
That's not a done deal. You just got the price, you're working on the price.
Well, he's gonna-
Yeah, we don't have a
Yeah.
solid price on the
Okay,
grade.
so next week for the purchase of one new belly dump. Right?
Okay,
Okay, see you later.
Have a good one.
You too.
hey, the dam tenders report. We are at 6429.08 as of 6:15 this morning, which is 5.04 inches below full pool.
Doing good.
Doing good.
We don't have no choice. I mean, they're starting to suck water. You see a lot of people here.
Yeah,
I think we leave as is and keep,
Well, we have to, right?
but look at the,
They could go up.
Oh, we could go up.
I don't think we dare.
No,
We-
it'd be a temporary modification if you went up, but you could see if it,
Mm,
yeah, look at the Pendlers though, there's a lot of,
I
it
know,
looks
but
like a lot of snow up there.
this wind is something though. I see Brad, he's waving or something. Isn't that Brad moving?
It's not on this morning.
Happy White.
Might just make a motion, keep as is, and keep an eye on it weekly.
My second.
Is there any public comment? Being none, all in favor?
I
Aye.
just wonder what Silver Lake's doing.
I drove up by there, just kind of looking the other day, we got that 13, 14 inches of snow. I looked just to see, I feel like full.
I was trudging through knee-deep snow that melted the very next day. And the lake didn't have as much as we had. Right
You
here.
know, there was more, like you said, down this, kind of down south of us.
Trying to save my trees.
Not too much.
It was a good workout.
You got that much here? Much snow?
There is a lot.
Oh my-
down.
Yeah,
There's close to a foot, I bet.
That's why there's still stuff piled in the street.
yeah.
Did he say they're going to Georgetown to blade?
They're blading it up.
I guess I misunderstood you last week. I know there's a lot going. I guess I don't understand why we're doing that. If we're done doing this,
Because it was all screwed up again after we bladed it.
I mean, what was the big argument? I mean, we're not really,
So just to send it off in a good working order, blade it this week, then it turned June 1st.
I would have done a contract with them and that would have sufficed them, I think, just the one.
well, I guess I misunderstood. I was thinking you were talking, that's why I was thinking that you meant this, we're gonna do one more. I didn't think we're doing it right now.
Well, it's gotta be this week, because we're not doing it after June 1st.
Why we're doing it anyway. I
Just to be good neighbors.
Sorry, I just had to bring that up, because I just, he just said they were up there.
Well, I thought maybe he was doing the county side of it. No,
No, remember,
My bad. I
it's supposed to be all screwed up. We bladed it once, well, a month ago. And then we got an inch of rain. Got all screwed up again.
I mean, they went up.
Go get your claim.
okay, the next agenda item is monthly claims. Review and approval.
just getting the reports printed in.
Morning.
Not for me.
Hey, he has this gravel done, right? He has this gravel, on me? Okay. See, yes. $55.
So we're taking that out of road and not gas tax? Well, it's out of road.
Becky had asked this last week and I thought she was gonna make a note on it. I thought she had said maybe there's no money left in the gas tax for the gravel. Is it for the gravel
Where'd it go?
or something? She had concerns about where the gravel would come out of, and that was a question for claims today.
So we're looking at budget power, not cash on hand.
Okay.
Let me look. So we're, the gravel I thought was for next fiscal year. But we're paying out of this fiscal year. Right?
Right, well, I'm trying to remember how.
So
I think we do part and part, I guess.
not gas tax, the gravel, the contracts were for this next fiscal year. And you're paying out of this fiscal year.
Yeah, you're paying them now. It's fiscal year.
Yeah, cause the new one don't start till July.
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying, Lance, or what?
Shouldn't it be out of next fiscal year? Because we did the contract for the following year. We paid for gravel already out of this fiscal year, back in last spring. Or whenever. We've already paid, that's why when you're saying that we already bought our yards of gravel fiscal year that we're currently in, which is due to end June 30th.
I don't know that the notice in the newspaper said, when it-
Specified, I don't
but
think,
I
right?
think you guys talked about part and part. part, yeah, doing half and half or something like that.
half and half.
Like pay for part of it now and part of it later.
I don't remember. Split that. But you gotta pay for it. We're not doing it on fiscal year, we're doing it on a working year. You know, when we can put the gravel on.
So we budgeted gravel. We expended and bought all the gravel for fiscal year that we're currently in now. The contract was for gravel, and that would have been for this fiscal year coming up, and so
How could we do that? We're gonna use.
because that's
gravel.
how it's done. That's what you do. You budget. We don't have it. We spent it. There, it isn't in the budget right now. You see what I mean? That's why gas tax was the way it
Then we Better
was.
stop hauling gravel down there if we are. Well, I don't think we started.
Yeah, better talk to Paul.
Have they hauled the gravel yet? Have they hauled any gravel?
I think he's hauling out our gravel.
Yeah.
You're not hauling, this is just that we approved the bid from Tommy, and that's what we owe.
Right. But wouldn't it be, can't we pay him in July?
And that's what I see what you're saying there. Yeah,
I would just wait to get it then. Tell Paul to wait to
Well,
get it
yeah.
and pay in July. Yeah, that works.
cause otherwise, yeah, that's why cause we already paid that other gravel.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Cause it
I mean,
don't
this-
say in the when they.
Just have to make
propose
sure
the
we don't
bid.
haul before. we pay.
Unless they know we're good with it, because a few weeks, not a
Yeah,
huge
I mean,
deal.
this, and he should realize, I mean, this was for, we contracted gravel for the next fiscal year. And we're paying for it in this fiscal year. So we're paying for it before we get it, which, do you see what I mean? We're paying, we're gonna get, we don't have it.
Yeah, so you're saying wait till after the first
Yeah.
of the month. I agree.
So I guess Tommy, he submitted this, he's got it ready to go, but we can't pay it now until the next fiscal year, which would be July.
Probably have Paul call him and say we'll pick it up in July, pay them. You could have it, like a check potentially ready for July 1.
I took that to Paul, I told him.
Granite County Commissioner's Office.
Hey.
Okay. Go ahead, Scott.
Hey, we're trying to figure this. Can you hear us?
You want me to explain? Go ahead. Hello?
Yeah, go ahead, I'm here.
Oh, it's all just, there's a bunch of other people. On this Tommy thing, we're not gonna pay him until July, so, cause that's how we budgeted it. But we don't,
That's fine.
we can't take none of that until July,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, we can't pay it out of this fiscal year because it's gravel that we contracted for next fiscal year, and that starts July 1.
I will call and tell him that, and I'm sure that's not a problem.
Okay,
We just wanna make sure we're not taking it
Okay.
and not pay, you know.
okay, so we're gonna disallow that claim and pay it in July.
July.
All right, if you give him a call and tell him
I'll
that,
call him right now, and if there's any problem at all, I will call you back,
okay,
but I know, I'm sure there won't be,
okay,
okay?
great, all right,
All right, you bet.
thanks,
Bye.
bye.
Just a thought, you could approve it and have her put July 1 on the check, on the claim warrant.
Yeah, so we need to pull that, hold it.
And then like on the back page, it says it's cash. I guess why would it?
No, that's the cash that was spent. that's an accounting thing. So what that tells you is, yeah, that's the accounting thing, so it hits the expenditure account. So the checks come to the amount of 81,900. Yeah, it's not cash.
So what kind of fuel are we buying from Dustbuster?
That's that,
I think Dustbuster.
Oh, you're thinking a little dust buster. Getting a glare here, can I put you in the
Oh,
dark?
yeah,
just a little bit?
absolutely.
I hate to do that to you, knowing how much
Oh.
you love the sunshine.
You're fine. It's mostly just for the plants.
Hello. I see my email.
I did,
Okay.
yes.
Okay, good. Busy weekend with calls? Or
No.
Okay.
Surprisingly.
Yeah. Things are starting to pick up around here.
Yeah, they are. It's getting warmer.
Yeah,
Today's supposed to get up to 80.
yeah, it's crazy. I'll believe it when I see it. You know, but
I know.
maybe I need the AC in my window. So I put the AC in the window, then it'll snow more, so I
Yeah,
can't
that's
do
exactly
that.
what happened.
Any of the ones you question? What should have been said, Scott, was we needed to talk to the three of us and say we can have a decision.
yeah, I was. Seven now. I did misunderstand.
Yeah.
I think he got the good line.
So my opinion is if that's the case, then
Right? Yeah, I know where you're going. Whole point was not what we did, because it was with two lakes, you know, lake, that was my biggest concern, now it's didn't do it. Just pissed over that. Make you look like.
Could be.
Make a motion to accept the claims.
Except for
That's except for the draft. was not-
second, okay, and public comment? Seems none, all in favor? Aye.
Are we on it?
Read the postal bill. Yeah, it's not 10 yet.
Before it got hard.
Oh, pretty brown there. Been out in the sun?
You planting a garden or what are you doing?
Oh, yeah, garden.
It's like my son
Good.
is so
Garden
brown
walk.
now.
It's been all winter inside.
Yeah,
And it's nice
time to
out.
get out. Good point.
Are we on that?
Okay. Couple minutes, our next agenda item, I think we're close enough. Commissioner's Assistant Job Description Review. Update, discussion and decision. Okay, for an explanation.
I totally understand where it's going, or you.
Well, we should probably explain. On the second page, page 2 of 4. She's got highlighted. And it's human resources jobs that we have designated for her to do over and above what's in her job description right now. And it's a lot.
I totally agree, and then plus, the other stuff that's coming up with first, like the other day, we was thinking of that too, there's just gonna be so much more that we're. To keep us updated and, you know,
And then on her administration assigned responsibilities in relation to grants administration is another that we've thrown in her lap. And she's accepted them very willingly.
no, that's not a problem, we need. Matrix. There's something different about one of these.
Oh, no, maybe I just gave you 2 copies.
Is there anything, Billy, that you'd like to add?
No, I don't think so. I appreciate you guys kind of looking at it and going through it with me.
I think there's just so much more that.
When we rewrote this and then we started it as, we put the deputy as a deputy position in there, and that didn't really, we had a choice between deputy to the clerk and recorder or administrative assistant, and so that was what, a year? Did you do that a year or 2 years?
I think 2 years.
2 years, 2 years, and we came to the conclusion that we needed to change this for her to be the administrative assistant, as was our former assistant. And this was at a grade 11, but we have increased her duties. And now she mainly with the human resources, and she uses our contracted person as a resource, but she's doing all the administering. And so she brought it to our attention, and what would you recommend, Scott?
Recommend, go to that.
She's on 11.
I recommend we go to 12. 8 through 12. Means that all the extra stuff we're asking and keeping us.
I'll second.
So that would be effective July 1.
Okay.
Yeah, correct.
So is there any public comment?
Elaine.
I was gonna also say that, I'll say after.
Go ahead, Elena.
Thank you for the record. I'm sorry, I didn't hear what the motion was. And it looks like reading this, that's an awful lot of responsibility on her plate. And she really doesn't even work 5 days a week. And so to me, that's a lot of responsibilities. And a lot of it, like your conversation before that you had on some of those correspondence and discussion. I don't remember we did it last week. We did it last week. Well, didn't we do it? No, I did it. I don't know. It seems to me, since you look confused a little bit, seems to me that this should be your responsibilities as commissioners to do most of the stuff that's on here. I remember when Mike Cahill was around and we had commissioners back then on the different boards and committees. Oh, one of the commissioners acted as a liaison and attended the meetings and reported back to the other two commissioners. She's supposed to be at each one of these board meetings, as secretary. That's a heck of a lot of work. That's my opinion. You asked public comment. There it is. Thank you.
For one thing, she is a full-time employee. For another thing, she doesn't go to board meetings. That isn't in the job description to go to board meetings. As nothing's truly changed. This is a job increasing in areas that wasn't on the job description before, that was in Mike's job description years ago, and he actually was paid a whole lot more than what Billy's being paid. And it wasn't because he was here 40 years.
The thing about, we're asking to do more stuff, and
Yeah.
we've asked her to go to meetings, and she's come
Yeah.
back and report to us, like you said, it's not on the description, but she's willing to go and do it, so. My motion still is, but
Blaine, did you have a comment?
I was gonna say that the things that were added are the duties that she's already been doing, so it's, she does have time to do them, and it's, there is a lot there, but, she's doing them, and so, she should be paid for what she's
And
doing.
here's the thing too, these duties we took out
Mhm.
of this
Yeah.
job description that Mike did. And now she's picked up the ball and is running with it and is doing these, making it easier for the county as a whole,
Yeah.
being able to not have to contract out for that human services because she has the capabilities of just using that person as a resource.
One thing too, we're working as a team, I mean, I'll help Billy helps me,
Yeah.
I can tell you that every other county commission in the state is doing the same things as the commission here, I mean, you guys aren't dropping the ball that I see, and,
what's in respect, we're giving her more due to the fact that we're asking more. I mean, you gotta treat people right that work for you, otherwise you're not gonna have anybody.
yeah. good
I'm
point.
pretty much putting it plain,
Yeah.
I'm still sticking to my motion, that's move to 12.
Go ahead, Elena.
Oh, and one other comment.
Excuse me, for the record, I beg to differ because I've attended a number of these committees and meetings, and they're not. And Mike never did as much as Billy is taking on. He never did it. I don't remember him sitting at the meetings. I don't remember him saying that he took care of this correspondence, that he addressed this. I don't remember that. He took minutes, and when you asked him for something, then he did. And I'm not here to debate anything with you. I said for the record, that's what as I feel. That's how I feel. I've been involved with this long enough. And I do keep everything, emails, everything from everybody I get. Thank you.
Go ahead, Scott.
And on with Mike, I don't think we need to keep bringing Mike up. I mean, he did go to meetings, I did go to meetings with him and he took the notes, we asked him to do that. I think that's really poor to say what you said about Mike. I totally done with that.
Blaine,
I was saying, Mike did he did HR things, he did, go to mean, wasn't he on was he on
Yes.
Headwaters?
yes.
And on RAC, I thought he was
Yeah.
on RAC, so he did,
And Rumsey,
yeah, and the TV districts.
yes,
And actually,
And, oh, go
he
ahead.
was the rep for action.
and Library,
Mhm.
I mean, there's a lot he did, I mean, don't sit there and say he didn't. I guess, I don't wanna get into the go.
No, we're not gonna debate this, but as clerk and recorder and in the clerk and recorder's office for 28 years, I know exactly the jobs that Mike did, and he did a whole lot more than what you're professing that he did, because I was there, I witnessed.
Thanks.
So, any other public comment? Motion carried and passed.
Alright,
Oh, aye.
Thank you, guys.
All in favor? Aye. Motion carried and passed.
Thank you.
do we need to keep this or?
Oh, I want. So I guess a memo to the payroll department.
Okay.
We need to have a memo and then signed by the commission.
I think it just.
Effective July
on the chairperson.
Okay, chairperson. And it's not like we have to throw it there this next week. We get that effective July 1.
Okay.
And Billy, you will attest that you are a full-time employee with Granite
I
County.
am a full-time employee.
And we agreed that you could work the 4 days, but you're working the long
Yeah.
hours. So,
Yeah,
mean,
I
you're-
work-
it's actually-
I work 4/10s and sometimes they still come in on.
4/10s is
Fridays.
full-time.
Yeah,
And then Fridays, I've called you how many times?
Yeah.
Last year, it looked
yeah.
so-
Yesterday, she was sending out documents. Yeah.
I mean,
Okay. We've got 5 more minutes before our next agenda item.
Did we get all that stuff figured out with the state then on who training and that, is that came back?
So I got an email this morning, and I think we're good to go. I need to log in and I think we're good to certify. It looks good. I just need to log in and
Maybe we'll put it
Make
on the
sure it
agenda for
does.
next week. Do we need to?
I don't think so, I built the training portfolio thing with the hours. So I need to get on there and see what it looks like, and then I'll probably have both of them come in and we'll make sure it all looks good, and then I have a paper copy and he should be able to go to the state and do what he needs to do.
See, and that's another one, in human resources, we have to have, we're having her do.
Well, she picked up a lot of duties that we had to throw in her job description. And that's why we have some of your wages coming out of the road, because you picked up responsibilities there. That might have before, that was re-added to the job description.
Thank you, guys. Good to see you, sir.
How was the wedding?
Yeah,
Yeah,
congratulations.
nice, yeah.
Congratulations.
Yeah, married on Saturday, it was raining by the time it was over and they had taken photos, the sun was shining.
Cool.
And, yeah, the reception was on the 20th floor of the US, their Key Bank building there in Salt Lake, 20th floor overlooking the city. Yeah,
Oh, beautiful.
yeah,
That's the first one married, huh?
yeah, first one, now I'm no longer financially responsible. Well, no, maybe not. thanks to Bidenomics, probably be 100 still supporting her.
Is your one son still in Philadelphia?
So you got transferred to Seaford, Delaware. So
Uh,
yeah, it's like, there's some actually nicer beaches there in Delaware. I didn't know that. It's close to those, and then, yeah, people from DC come up there. It's cool, right?
Good.
How much longer does he have?
He's been out 7 months, 2 years, huh? Yeah, it's flown, yeah, 7
Yeah.
months.
Very
Flown by. Yeah, he hopes to get back to the city at one point, but
Yeah,
With that,
hopes to get back to the city later on, but good to see the different spots.
Okay, so our next agenda item, Sarah, do you want to come forward? This is proposed EMS coordinator agreement with Coast to Coast. Probationary 1-year agreement, discussion and decision.
How come I doubt, I'm totally against this. I just don't see how we can make a job. I guess, yeah, I'm reading over the agreement and I'm just totally against it. That's my opinion. I don't know how to explain it better. I just can't see where we can come out and make a $75,000 job to somebody. That's not against you. Nothing. I just can't see doing it. I don't see what good it's gonna do. And still, you'd have to darn near hire another person just to, there's just gonna be too much conflict. So I don't know how else to say it. Sad. That's just my thought. Read over, thought, talked to a lot of people, and I'll quit rattling on, but I'm totally against it.
Okay, so looking at this agreement, this is not anything that I was thinking about. Apparently, I'm comparing apples and oranges here. What I understood when you brought this proposal to us was that, and this is what, it wasn't in the proposal, but it was that Coast to Coast wasn't making it financially and you weren't going to be able to continue because you couldn't make it financially. And what I looked at was somehow if we could supplement you Coast to Coast, and in return, you would do the grant writing and you would do the EMS training and you would work to benefit the whole county. That's how I looked at this. But it wasn't just to benefit the Phillipsburg ambulance, and that's what this contract is, just benefiting the Phillipsburg ambulance. I'm sorry, but 75,000 for a coordinator just to benefit one association, I just can't see. What I was hoping is that if we could supplement where you went out there, you did the grant writing, the training, and you worked hard to get donations and coming into this fund where we could supplement Coast to Coast to keep them afloat with that. And then the hospital too. I think the hospital needs to be included in this countywide, where there'd be some kind of agreement where you could do their runs. But yeah, as far as this contract, I actually am not in favor of it.
I mean, this is what I drafted up as just a rough draft, and we'll get do what you want. We didn't have a lot of time or whatever to.
Well, this pretty much says for
Well-
coordinator for the association, and the only association that is willing to work with this is Peabody Ambulance. This has to be a
Drummond's-
countywide thing.
Drummond's not interested at all.
They can comment for themselves. Monica's on there.
Okay.
She can't be on today, he's hauling cows, but Monica's on there.
Chuck, did you have a comment? Okay,
Okay, so Blanche, can I say something?
go ahead, Monica.
Okay. I'm Monica Prince. I'm Monica Prince with the Drummond Ambulance. And we've talked about this. So for several reasons, I cannot visualize this working. We already have a communication system. We already know if we're running. We already know when we're not running. We communicate well with each other, and we know if somebody's out of service. Yesterday, Frank and I hauled our own cows to pasture all day. I flat out stated to our entire service, Frank and I will not be available today. And they're like, we got you covered. We talk. So I am unsure of what we need a coordinator for. We are fiscally responsible for our own budget. We already do that. We already grant write for ourselves. Well, we don't grant write, but we have a grant writer for ourselves. I feel that if you want to have a coordinator, that's fine. But you need to put it out there and have this discussion seriously with both ambulance services. And I feel like every time we have to come before the commission about having a coordinator or about doing something different, it's all about disciplining us for doing our volunteer service. And I know that that's probably a personal feeling, but when we're making the runs and we are training our people and we're doing all of that, I feel like I would like to see, if you plan on ever doing this, I want a full description of what we can expect from the coordinator. Like, do you see what I'm saying? Like, we're getting this shoved on us if you agree to do it. And it feels a little bit like nothing we have to say matters. Hold that thought a minute. You guys go outside. Sorry, I got my grandkids, so I'm being interrupted here. I do have some questions though. If you do plan on doing this, like, have you thought about how this affects our bylaws? How this is going to affect our budget? How are we still in charge of our budget? I have so many questions that at this time we are absolutely not interested. Like, we're just not interested. And I feel for the Phillipsburg area. I feel that we all need more volunteers. And I don't know what the answer to that is. I can tell you that my entire immediate family either volunteers on the volunteer fire department or on the ambulance service. So for anybody who thinks that we need 100% coverage across the county, we need to be asking their family and friends who's stepping up. Like we can do this with a volunteer service. I truly don't feel that having a coordinator is the answer. I also feel like for this contract, looking for grant money to pay for the coordinator position, you're paying somebody to look for money to pay for themselves. That's not the solution to the ambulance services. The solution to the ambulance services is to having more butts in the seats. Like, we need drivers, we need EMT people, we need people to be on the service. The grants aren't going to help us find that. They're just not. So after having talked to our service members, we're really not interested. We're really not interested. And that has nothing to do, Frank has already spoken to Sarah. That has nothing to do with Coast to Coast. That has nothing to do with their service. They're good people. We like them. They volunteer on our ambulance service, and we are very privileged to have them.
Go ahead, Blaine.
I guess a couple things. One thing, definitely any type thought about improving the system is not a discipline to you guys. And I hope that, apologies if that's what's coming across, but we also have to look at where we can improve across the county. I mean, just the status quo is not, I don't think with the number of people moving to the county, the status quo is not going to work. I don't think. The contract does give a specific job description for a coordinator, so I disagree with you on that point. As far as there wouldn't be any, and I'm not pushing for the coordinator, I just want to make sure that the facts are out. It's definitely, the coordinator is not a supervisor of the ambulance association, the contract talks about that. So if this doesn't work, I think we need to be still looking at solutions on. I like the idea of trying to supplement coast to coast myself, and that was what I talked about last time. So I'm not promoting this contract. I just want to make sure that that's out there, that this contract does not say that coordinator supervises or in any way directs. This was totally a separate budget item as well, so it was not, or at least that's what was discussed last week.
Other thing I want to mention is getting EMTs and volunteers. That comes with community relations and, you know, doing these EMT classes and going to the high schools and talking to the, you know, graduating students, or, you know, opening up our ambulance bay and showing if someone's interested in being a driver, or going to the EMT class. And that's essentially paying for my time or whoever, this doesn't work out, which is fine. You know, the time to be able to do that. And the other thing is, so, and it's nothing personal, this is nothing personal, but if this doesn't go through, this is gonna push coast to coast to go to the Anaconda transports and the Butte transports and whatever, so that's gonna make us less available for here. I'm not saying, you know, we're not gonna be available, but that's just the reality of the situation. And me personally, I'm like last week I was in Southern California, so I might have to go further out, me personally, you know. And then this other thing was, the contracted position gives you a provider pretty much 24/7. So at least you have an EMT, and 90% of the time I come with a critical care paramedic. But
I've got to say, this proposal thing has to be 100% countywide. And I'm including the hospital district, working with the hospital district to come up with some kind of plan. Like I said, I don't like this contract at all. I know, Blaine, you think, but to me, it's a contract to hire someone to oversee and take care of supplies and do the budgets. And no, I'm sorry, I can't agree with.
All right, but that's an easy tweak, though. I mean, you guys didn't give me the information. You guys didn't give me the information to. I was talking.
Oh, sorry. Excuse me, Blaine.
Okay. You guys did not give me the information to put in the contract, so I put that on the commission.
Okay.
And I totally, you know, I understand what you're saying, Blaine. Yes, you know, we had to have something in front of us to look at.
That's all this was.
That's what
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
I'm happy with what you put there, because there's stuff, you know, and this is why it got shoved to this next week, because, you know, I had all kinds of questions, but it still hasn't changed my mind. I'm against it, so.
I want to mention one other
Can I
thing.
ask one more?
Just a minute, Monica. I'll
One
call
other-
on you.
Okay,
I think that Blaine does know this as well. To add to the Phillipsburg setting, Little John did get the federal law enforcement job, which puts him away from the county for up to 6 months. So he has training in Georgia, and then he has to do FTO in California, Arizona, wherever else. So that was another thing that I don't know if that contributed to this as well, because now you have a leadership position gone for a number of months. For
But
training.
you're also looking at a volunteer ambulance, a
Yes.
leader position that doesn't get paid.
Yes.
It's a volunteer. So if we say, okay, because he's not gonna be here for 6 months out of the year for the first year, then we're going to give someone 75,000 to run the show. When Drummond isn't
Yeah,
agreeable to
I
this,
understand what you're saying.
then what does that say? We have to, well, then if you're gonna give Phillipsburg ambulance 75,000, then maybe we need 75,000 more. And Phillipsburg and Drummond ambulance are both levied. So this wouldn't be a levy position. And I understand, Blaine, where you're coming from with this, and like I said, I'm my bad, because I was completely thinking of something completely different.
All right. I understood. I was just trying to get a
Yeah.
initial draft out there
Yeah.
for us to
Well,
discuss.
could
I
you come up with
appreciate
something
that.
there? Could you come up with something on how you were thinking? And then we can look at that. I think we have to talk about this more.
Like I said, that if there was a way to supplement them, but apparently you don't even have an ambulance here anymore.
Yes, I do.
You still have an ambulance here?
Yes,
Where's it at?
it's in the Phillipsburg ambulance
Oh.
shed, which we rent.
Yeah, I didn't see the one down there.
What I was thinking is because of the fact that the reason this proposal came to us was because you couldn't make it. I mean, you don't have a contract with the hospital,
Correct.
can't work with them.
Correct.
And so to keep coast to coast, I was thinking there was something that we could do on a probational, I don't know. I have no clue. You'd have to come up with something
That
like
comes
that.
back to proposal one, which is not gonna be feasible for county. So there's really not a whole lot to do anymore, honestly, so I will continue our business, we can backfill as needed, but again, I'm not gonna be here. Now, me personally, just our business isn't gonna be here as often because we're gonna have to go to Anaconda, we're gonna have to go to Butte, I might go to Bozeman one day. I went to Billings a few weeks ago, so that's basically where we're at.
Well, and that's understandable because you are a private business and you're gonna have to go where the calls are.
Right.
And then we have our Petersburg ambulance and we have our Drummond ambulance, and so they're here. And I'm sure there's someone second in command for Mr. Littlejohn that can step up to the plate.
They're getting more people, but I'm not sure if there is. Hopefully.
We have, so the ambulance association in Phillipsburg, minus me and Jason, there's only 2 providers, so that means there's only 2 people with licenses. And then the rest are drivers, so that was the whole, pushing to the EMT class as well.
So if there were something like Chuck said, that in other words, you're kind of saying you're here, you're gonna be here, but you're gonna have to take runs from Butte and
Yeah.
Anaconda and, which is understandable.
Yeah, which
To
means that I'm gonna
survive,
be
you
here.
would
Yeah.
anyway, because there's
Yeah.
not enough calls here.
Yeah, and you do anyway, right? Because there's not enough calls here.
Yes, yeah,
Okay,
so we'll still backfill as needed, but we're not gonna be here as often, like physically, so. But that's it, but that's exactly what we're doing now.
Yeah.
So,
Sorry, it's just so
So-
I can't make a.
okay, go ahead, Monica. Sorry.
Okay, I just have one more thing that I want to mention about this coordinator position, whether you create it or not. But I do believe that this has been brought to the commissioners before in discussion. And so I'm not really sure. I'm not a lawyer. I'm not that smart. But I'm not really sure what the ramifications are if you create this position and don't put it out there to hire. There are going to be people that were willing to step into that position prior to this that are not going to be very happy. That's all I'm saying. I mean, I understand that this is a proposal that was presented to you, but I do happen to know there are other people out there that have been willing to take on this coordinator position. So that was just a thought that went through my head. I was like, that's interesting. It's just something to consider.
Go ahead, Blake.
It definitely is. That's a good point. But it is a contract, so it's not an employee. Employee, you'd have to advertise. Contract, yeah, you decide to do this, you could put it out. I don't think you're not required to. The other thing I would say is not to brush aside other people, but Coast to Coast has shown that if this is going to be anyone, it should be them. I mean that from what they've done for the county. So while there's other people out there, and I'm not saying they would do a poor job, I'm saying that Coast to Coast is the one that you're going to have someone do this. Could be the one to do it.
Is there any other public comment?
I think we'll tweak this. I want to think about it more. I mean, I don't want to just throw it out.
Okay, so table it.
That what you do, table it?
Yeah, I'd table it.
Well, I'm thinking right now with this contract right here, no. I don't think that. But looking to the future, if you felt that if there was a way that we could supplement you, but if you're deciding that you're gonna stay here anyway, you're just gonna take more runs and you won't be as available, which you do already, right?
Yeah, but it'll be more, so now
So,
less available, yeah. Cause I tried to stay available for the county, but obviously, why can't,
Right.
I'm not gonna just put in my personal money and
Right.
to lose it, so.
So why won't the hospital step up?
there's contract conflict between them.
Yeah, that's a whole other story that we really don't have time for.
And then that's another thing that, go ahead, Blaine.
One thought I had is if there is some type supplement that you couldn't pay that full, what was proposal one, was
$25,000 a month.
25,000 a month. A supplement where there was a percentage of time guaranteed. The thought, I mean,
Yeah, and
Look at-
as far on this with monthly, that is would be more of a quarterly thing. But that would be something that has to come up that is approved by the three of us right now. I'm looking at this coordination agreement coordinator.
Can we change the name coordinator to something else and kind of change the description? So there's just other things we want.
Okay, what this is stating right here, this, we can't even change the name and make it feasible because this is giving a job description to take care of the association, any kind of administrative thing that the association needs. And Drummond's already doing theirs. And so this would be just for Phillipsburg, and I can't see, I'm sorry, I just can't. 75,000,
I totally agree.
yeah,
well, and the reason why he came up with that is because he was talking about EMS
Right.
chief, and
Right.
that's what it was called last week. That name kind of, I think, has a little connotation of
Yeah.
supervisor.
Yeah.
So that's exactly why I put
Yeah.
coordinator.
but even
Yeah.
so, Blaine, we want 100% countywide
If
agreement on
that's
this.
what you're wanting, that you can't dispute that.
Yeah.
That's, yeah.
I don't think that's ever gonna happen with the current people in place. I'll just say that and leave it at that.
I guess that's the
Yep.
gamble we gotta
Yeah.
take. I mean, I'm still,
In the meantime, we have good volunteers, but we just need to look for ways to make it better. That's my thought, because if you're gonna have a program, it should be striving for 100%.
So. I'll make a motion, or do we,
but, yeah, I'll make a motion. I don't know how to say it against this, but if there's something else we can figure, try to work something. I'm willing to listen, but as of like this,
I just want to think about it.
We can table it again, I don't care. It's up to you now, here's it. But you second it.
well, I think I'm gonna second your motion right now, because something different, completely different. If you can bring to us that, I mean, this is a temporary thing, this is monies that we really is sitting out there for public safety, and it's not gonna be there every year, that's the thing. It's not gonna be there 100%, keep you afloat for years to come, and that was why it was, the grant option in there was to keep it afloat. And we were gonna make a special fund of it. Right now, I would say that we have to rely on Peterborough Ambulance and Drummond Ambulance to be there, and then you're there temporarily when you can and when you can't. That's all we can hope for right now.
Another option is just a person that's a recruitment coordinator, just solely recruitment, because that's what Drummond Ambulance Monica's talking about. Someone that can spend more time on recruitment. The thought.
We can't spend 75,000.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it'd have to be a wage to match with the time and value of it, but it is valuable, just a recruitment person.
No, I agree. I mean, there's a lot, that's the thing, it's just,
So is there any public comment on the motion that we can't look at this contract right now as a coordinator, which, because it's not countywide, it's not 100% agreeable by the county. We just can't do it. So, did you get how we,
I think
so, all in favor?
Well, I was just gonna say, Chance Gibson, the ranch at Rock Creek, we value Sarah at the ranch. I just wanted to make that known.
And we value her too.
yeah, I mean, it's not that
This is something, if we can make it work, but we just, right now, the way this is written, it's just totally for one ambulance and we don't have it. It's gotta be 100% countywide, and that's including the hospital, working with my feelings.
I agree.
Okay, so, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? You're opposed? One opposed.
I still want to think about it and maybe come up.
Well, if,
Thank you for your time.
thank you. Motion carried, pass. Thank you. Sorry, Lee.
No, I don't have,
No,
I don't have a dog in the
No,
fight
you
other
did
than
good.
to work with coast to coast. I think working with
Oh,
coast to coast.
Appreciate everything they do, it's just,
Yeah.
you can't make a job, I mean, there's other, you know, it's just,
Yeah, I just encourage you to look at like a recruitment coordinator, somewhere you could use coast to coast. Cause, been going round and round and not getting any, I mean, not, where there's made improvements, but still need to keep climbing, that's all I
oh,
say.
I think we all agree there, just to hire and have somebody. Sorry. Just my thought.
well, and now you're looking at a position and the monies that we have is just kind of temporary there for now, and it might not be there down the road.
Yeah,
Well, I thought it was 75,000 temporary 1 year to try and get her to get more grants and whatever. Why can't that be for the whole county?
People
You see,
pay her
everybody-
75,000 just to write grants.
well, a lesser
No,
amount.
no, she was gonna get grants, she was gonna do all this recruitment and everything. Why can't that cover the whole county?
But this is supposed to cover the whole county and it's not 100%. It's not 100%, and this,
And it's only 1 year though.
no, but it's still your,
no.
the other, if you're not gonna have them all on board, this is the problem. What, if we're gonna pay somebody to oversee, pretty much, are we gonna lose some more? This kind of goes back to, like, you know, money's not always gonna be there, and we both look at each other and say this not trillions, trillions, what this stuff's gonna. I mean, this is doing a little Band-Aid on for $75,000 job. It's like, these other people.
Okay, so we are over on our agenda item for granite disposal proposal. So that's our next agenda item.
Grizzly.
They've canceled.
They've canceled.
Yes, they got a hold of me yesterday and they're going to need to reschedule for June 11th.
Okay.
So,
Well, I think too, you know, cause it's with the other ones that bring that proposal, I think at the point,
next week,
it's gonna be. But, you know,
competitive.
we're looking for the best price.
That's what we
And what
want,
they can bring
right?
to the table, I
Yeah.
think they're both in a conflict of trying to figure out how they can propose a better deal.
Then June 11th gets you there, but it's, you guys gotta have a decision here sooner or later with your budget coming up.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Maybe we should get Little John in here, to explain what's gonna happen. With his backup.
Yeah, I can reach out.
yeah.
Yeah, I know we gotta make something work, but I just can't see.
Okay, Bing's granite disposal proposal have canceled. That was the last agenda item, and we are now adjourned for today, May 28th, 2024. Oh, wait a minute, go ahead, Andy. You have a comment from Andy White?
Yeah, good morning, commissioners. Thank you. I'm not on the agenda, obviously, but I'm Andy White with the MDT and wanted to talk, not probably now, but later today about your secondary priority on secondary 348, which is, I know is not on your radar, but I knew I could catch you today. And so if we could just set up a time, I'd like to know when would be a good time later today to call you back so we could discuss it.
What are you talking about? What's 348? What's going on?
Well, we have a capital construction priority list that was built probably before any of your, commissioners that are on sitting there now it was developed before your time essentially. But we at MDT in the district personnel, we just went and looked at that road about a week ago. And that happened to be the pick back in the day when the capital construction priority list was made. It was secondary 348 that was your pick. And so we see an opportunity to address some issues out there. And we just need to start the discussion and at your convenience. So wanted to kind of insert myself into your meeting this morning to see if we could start the discussion.
Okay, Andy, we would have to put you on the agenda. So what's a good time for you to get back on with us to discuss it? And
okay, sure. It can be whenever. It can be whenever.
If you want to get with me, or Billy can get with you and get you on the agenda.
Yeah,
Okay.
I usually go through Joan, but I can either reach out through her if you need me to contact you directly.
And when he gets back on, I think he should be on when the road supervisor's in here too,
Okay.
because then we.
Sure.
Okay, so we'll get you on the agenda to discuss this.
So real quick, what are you planning?
Thank you. Well, the capital construction priority picks are the county's projects. So back in the day, it was in 2006, this list was made and Granite County picked secondary 348 to work on. So when your project kind of floats to the top and it's the next one in line or, thereabouts, we revisit that and discuss it with the current commissioners to discuss your priority and make sure that's still what's on your radar. Granted, I know this is coming out of left field. You haven't even thought about this in a long time, but we can have that discussion now. We have something to propose, but then again, it's just our thoughts, and it's ultimately your decision. So, if I can get on the agenda at some point, that would be great.
Great.
Perfect.
Okay, thanks, Andy.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Hey, with that, we're adjourned.